Sometimes you get to come along, sometimes you don't. Today you didn't get to come along. I just bought an amazing 2017 Martin D28. I got this from a guy here in town. It had been on Craigslist for a while. It had been on Facebook for a while. He was just asking a bunch of money, and so we finally came down to kind of a reasonable amount. So I paid $1,800. So here's my plan. I want to go back to my house. I want to play this guitar, might restring it, but I want to just talk you through what makes a Martin D28 a D28, and then I want to help you figure out how you can understand a Martin guitar just by looking at the model number. Whether it's 1 digit, whether it's 2 digit, all of these confusing long titles don't have to be confusing. So I want to explain that to you, so let's go. After coffee. Oh, it's so hot. So there is an inherent tension in the world of guitars. We both love guitars that are old and historic and iconic, but we also really want guitars to grow out into the future, but somehow we don't ever want like a new guitar to have some new stuff, have some old stuff, and that's a problem for the guitar world. What Martin has done with the 2017, with the reimagined Martin D28, is awesome. Anyone who owned a D18 that was made before 2012 knows that it had just gotten a little boring. Like a little, just kind of dorky tuners, just kind of the same. It didn't look that awesome or that updated. So what Martin has done with it is amazing. They've done these amazing open-geared tuners. They've brought some really cool classic elements, but they've also made it a really playable guitar. Look at a Martin model number and think, what the heck is this? A DCP RGTE 16. And you have no clue what any of that means. I want to help you make sense of Martin model numbers so that you can quickly know if it's all solid or if it's a solid top or if it's a laminate top, back, and sides. Martin makes these rules, and sometimes they stick to them and sometimes they don't. But in general, there are two camps of Martin guitars. There are Martins with 1 digit in their model number, and there are also Martins with 2 digits. Generally speaking, loosely speaking, Martins with 2 digits are all solid wood, and Martins with 1 digit are solid top. Let's run through a very brief explanation of Martin models so that you know what you're buying and you know what the specs are on each model. The X Series. The X Series is made by Martin. They're made in Mexico. They're really great starter guitars. If they have a 1, so this would be like a DX1. A D stands for Dreadnought, X stands for the series, 1 means it's a solid top. So that guitar is going to be a solid top with high pressure laminate or Formica. It's kind of like countertop material on the back and sides. Now we step up to the Rhodes series. The Rhodes series, you're going to see these like the DM1, the D2R. These are going to be solid top guitars made in the US, but they're going to be laminate back and sides. So if they have an R in the name, so if you see like a DR2, that means Dreadnought Rosewood 2. So it's going to be rosewood laminate, but it still looks very cool, and it looks like rosewood rather than mahogany. The D15 is a mahogany top, solid back and sides, because it has 2 digits. They're really great sounding. It's the first nice Martin that I owned was a D15. I bought that when I was maybe 16. The next lineup is the D16. The D16 is the working man's Martin. It is a great guitar. It is firmly in that prosumer. You are getting some pro specs, but you're still a pretty affordable guitar. These you're going to find in between new, I don't know, I haven't looked at them in a while. Forever, they were about $1,000 for a Martin D16 and about $1,200 for a D16R. The other one, if you ever see a GT, that stands for gloss top. So it starts making more sense. A D16 RGT. Dreadnought, 16 Series, rosewood back and sides, gloss top. So the 16 Series is a great guitar. It's super dynamic too. You're gonna see a ton of different variations in this one. You're gonna see mahogany or rosewood. You'll see 4 or 5 different body sizes. Then you'll see them with a cutaway, without a cutaway. These guitars, they're all over the place because they really are trying to meet just the prosumer level of people who are still a consumer, but they want some pro features. They're awesome guitars and you can find them readily and they're really good and affordable. The next line up, let's talk about the D17. So the 17 Series is similar to the 15. Mahogany top, mahogany back and sides, very plain. So they're gonna have black or tortoiseshell binding. The guitar player from the Milk Carton Kids plays an old 0017. No, wait, it's not a 0017. It's an 015. It's a smaller size and it has the white peg heads. It's from the 50s. That is an 015. They're very similar. I don't totally know all the differences, but amazing guitars, mahogany tops. They're awesome. A couple years ago, Martin they brought the 17 Series back. And when they did, they tried to pull a fast one on us. And I mean, so for 100 years, that model number has always meant that it was a mahogany top. But what happened was they brought them back with spruce tops and they had tenon joint necks rather than dovetails. And they called them a 17 Series. For the dorks like myself, it was a big deal because it's, you know, why do we have rules if we don't stick to the rules? Martin makes rules. Sometimes they follow them, sometimes they don't. Let's move to the 18 Series. The 18 Series is the first full-on professional grade guitar from Martin. It is a dovetail joint, solid spruce top, mahogany back and sides. It's going to be black or tortoise binding. These are iconic, amazing old guitars. D18s are amazing. They're a really great guitar. One of my favorite guitars I've ever owned was one that you've probably seen the video on this channel, which was an old 55 Martin D18. D21, the 21 Series is amazing. It is all of the aesthetics of a D18, so black binding or tortoise binding, very subdued in its style, but it has rosewood back and sides. D28, the 28 is the king of most bluegrass guitar jams. Most people that if you've ever been around old guitar guys, you hear them talking about like, oh, I want a herringbone. Well, when they say a herringbone, they mean an HD 28. So some D28s have herringbone, all HD 28s have herringbone. That's the herringbone Dreadnought 28. The D35. D35s are amazing guitars. They were designed in the mid-60s. They were brought out in 1965. Johnny Cash played a D35. What's really cool about D35s is that they don't have the baggage of this old provenential old line of it's an 18 or it's a 28. So as the times were changing, the mid-60s, the world was becoming a different place. Martin started bringing out the D35 with a 3-piece back. They were able to use pieces of Brazilian along with Indian rosewood. Above the 28 series, the guitars get prettier, but they don't necessarily get better components. But the D41, this is kind of the younger brother to the D45. Hexagon abalone inlays, not as big as the 45, but still look really good. Abalone around the sound hole, abalone around the fingerboard, abalone around the top of the guitar. The CF Martin logo on the top that is different. If you ever find one in Ambertone, Bear from Need to Breathe, he plays Ambertone D41. That is ridiculous. To me, it's one of the best looking Martins. It looks so good. The D42, instead of the hexagon inlays, you're going to have the snowflake inlays. The same thing, rosewood back and sides, spruce top. You're gonna have binding around the fingerboard. It's gonna be a fancy guitar. So now we have arrived at the king. The king is the Martin D45. The D45, there's a D50, there's a D100. There are lots of guitars above that, but you never see them in real life. And a 45 is kind of a unicorn. You really don't see them that often. Those are the holy grail, holy cow, amazing, super expensive guitars. They are great guitars, and I hope that you find one. Mitch has one of the guys who follows this channel. He's got a 45 that is amazing. I'm very jealous of that guitar. I hope to get a D45 of my own at the end of this Dream Guitar Challenge that I'm doing. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy, I'm the Guitar Hunter. I help you find and buy and sell cool old guitars and gear. I hope that this makes sense of the Martin model numbers so that you can look at one and say immediately, oh, I know what that is. It's solid top, it's a laminate back and sides, and then it'll help you find all the tools that you need to research what a good price is to either buy it or sell it. So I wish you the best. I hope you have a great life full of guitars, music, and friendship. Thanks for watching this video. Please tell your guitar playing friends about it, and I'll see you soon.